Hey everybody, this is Jackuwarz. Been quite a while since I've made an actual recorded video, not a stream. Here I am, I'm going to be doing my own Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, not tier list, but just the characters that I'm going to be playing as. You know, I have it separated into 5 tiers here. At the top tier being the boys, my mains that I'm going to be maining day 1 on Smash Ultimate. The sidekicks, the characters that I'll play a good chunk of, but not going to be playing as much as I'm going to be playing with the characters in the boys club. And then there's neutral, where um, I'm going to play just as much as the sidekicks, but maybe once in a blue moon I'll play as them. Not likely, maybe those are the characters I might play only once or twice, and then probably not play them again. Unless if there's some really specific circumstances where I do eventually play as them. And then there's the Shadow Realm, at the very bottom of the barrel. Not only are you ever going to see me play as these characters, but I downright hate and despise and spit upon any of these characters that are in this list. Just characters that I am ashamed to play as, and I don't want to have anything to do with these characters. So those are my 5 categories. Also, another reason why I decided to make this video is I was inspired to make this video by ShadowWolf000. So he has his own video of this, so you can go ahead and check that out. I'll have that in the description. He also went down all the characters in order from left to right, top to bottom, starting with Bayonetta, but I'm going to mix things up for myself, and instead, oh boy, there's all these other characters down here too that I don't have in the shop. I'm going to be going backwards. So we're going to be starting things off with Zero Suit Samus. I think Zero Suit Samus is going to be in my not likely section. Why? Because I don't think Zero Suit Samus is just a really weird character for me. I feel like if you really want to be good with Zero Suit Samus, you got to be able to pull off all those crazy combos. And if you aren't able to, then you're really not going to be doing much with Zero Suit Samus. Like, you gotta be able to pull off those ladder combos where you up throw them and then into a bunch of up airs and then to that up B. So in the not likely, I think she only escapes the Shadow Realm because, hey, her recovery is pretty good. Being able to down B and then into an up B like that, that's pretty nice. That's what I like to see out of characters I play as. Next up is Zelda. If this were Smash 4 or any other Smash game, I would put her also in the Shadow Realm, but I'm going to put her in not likely because I do got to tip my cap off to the changes that, all the overhauls that Sakurai made to Zelda, giving her a new look, and I really do like most of the changes that Zelda was given for Smash Ultimate. Does that mean I'm going to be maining her? No. I feel like there's still a lot of quirks with Zelda that you really have to get used to, because Zelda, still in my opinion, she's not like any of the other characters. She has her own thing, and if you really don't play Zelda that often, you're really gonna struggle playing as her. So that's where I'm at. Maybe in the not likely. I'll probably play as her once or twice, and that'll be it. Alright, Toon Link. I'm gonna have Toon Link in my neutral, just because it's or did I say Toon Link? I mean, that's Young Link. So basically, Young Link returns to Smash, all the way back from Melee, pretty much to fill in the gap that is left by Link, because they overhaul Link. That way, he's more like his Breath of the Wild incarnation, and Young Link is more to feel like the original Link, from Super Smash Bros. 64 and Super Smash Bros. Melee and those games. So he's got the multi jab, just like Link had in Smash 64 and Melee. And he's also got Link's old Final Smash too, saying that Link has a new Final Smash in this game. But besides all that, yeah, I do like the idea that, hey, he's Young Link. He's a goodie but oldie. And if you want to play as an old like a Link that feels like the Smash of old, then go ahead and go with Young Link. Anyways, we're going into the next characters. Yoshi. This is gonna be a tough one because I want to say neutral also because he's only in the middle of the road because I still don't like Yoshi's up B in his recovery there, which means you really got to focus on using his second jump the best if you want to recover. That and I really didn't get into. I'm not a huge fan of his special moves, like his egg lay for his neutral B. I really don't have a whole lot of use for that. That and also his side B. So yeah, he's only in the middle of the road just because I'm not a huge fan of his special moves still. So next up, we're gonna go with Wolf here. I'm gonna be having Wolf in my sidekick because hey, I like my Star Fox and Wolf is a part of that. Well, obviously, man, come on. But I really did enjoy playing as Wolf back in Brawl, but he just barely misses out on the boys just because I felt like back in Brawl he was I always had some trouble connecting or making some decent combos with Wolf because of the way his attacks work. It's like whenever I used his forward smash back in Brawl, my opponents keep getting knocked out of all the combo hits that you get when you use the forward smash. So yeah, my concern is if Wolf if people can break out of his attacks and if the player using Wolf isn't excuse me isn't gonna get the most out of him. And I'm sorry, like, say if I'm basing this not really off the characters how they're gonna play on as in this game. I'm mainly just gonna focus on the little gameplay that I saw off Ultimate and just my past experience playing these characters. You know, if they're returning fighters. So there's one last character here, Wii Fit Trainer. She's gonna be the very first Shadow Realm character because she's just way too quirky of a character. I don't like most of her hitboxes for tilt attacks. She's just too unorthodox for my liking. And you really gotta learn every inch of her attack radius if you want to be any decent with a Wii Fit Trainer. Like, say, you can do his or her forward smash, but you need to, like, most of the hitboxes are behind the forward smash, which is really weird. So I'd say, yeah, it's hard to connect with Wii Fit Trainer, and I suppose also really hard to KO too for that reason. So hey, that kind of combination, you deserve to go to my Shadow Realm. Next up is Wario. I'm gonna have Wario as my sidekick. I like Wario because he has his chomp. He's got a side B, which makes him one of the best characters to recover with. Topple that with his down B, the waft. If you need that as an option too, like say if you don't have his side B and you're really screwed and you really need an extra recovery, especially if you're on your last stock, then you got his waft. He's just an all-around character. He's not part of the boys because his attacks do have too much lag for my liking. But overall, just a solid character. A really good comic relief character that I like to play as in matches for fun. So moving on to Villager, I'm going to put Villager in the neutral. Because I just don't like... I do like his forward and back air. You got an option there as a projectile, but besides that, you really don't have a whole lot of range when you play as Villager. Like, say, you really got to focus on getting up close. I mean, yeah, you can. You got the side, you got the forward and back airs, and you also got the side B, the Lloyd, where he shoots out that rocket. But really, the key to success with Villager is you gotta land his smash attacks if you really want to land successful KOs, because you really can't because without doing the smash attacks, you're forced to like do a bunch of forward airs and back airs at and then get your opponent at around 150%. So for that reason, hey, middle of the road. I wouldn't say Villager would be the worst character I'd ever play as, but hey, he's not the best. Just in the middle of the road there. Okay, so for Toon Link, we're gonna have Toon Link. Wait, didn't I have Young Link somewhere? Oh yeah, right there. You know, I'm gonna put Toon Link right where Young Link is in the neutral. For a lot of similar reasons. I think less so because I think Toon Link might have less range than Young Link from the looks of it. Because Toon Link might be a much shorter character than Young Link. And he might be a little lighter too, which means he might be easier to KO. Okay, moving on to the Blue Blur Sonic. I'm gonna put him in at not likely because he's too fast, and which makes connecting hits really difficult, and landing KOs too. So already there, that's a bad combination in my books. But hey, his speed and for the most part his recovery are pretty good. You can even use his up B to ledge guard if you can really get good at that. But yeah, Sonic can be a pretty tricky character for beginners if you're not used to his speed and the fact that his side B you can't recover with that anymore like you could in Brawl. And I think that's going to be the case here in Ultimate as well. So there's Sonic. Especially be real careful, with the side B when you try to recover horizontally, because it spikes downwards. That's in Smash 4, but hey, might be an Ultimate. Okay, moving on to Snake. He's finally back. I'm gonna have him in my sidekicks because I like Snake's playstyle. He plays just like in the games he was in, Metal Gear Solid. Not from his moveset and all, but the way he controls too. Like he's just got this weird control aspect. It's just like in Metal Gear Solid, the way the controls work there. And he's just got a lot of toys you can mess around with, like a C4 for his down B, his Nikita for his side B, and even his up B. If you can, I don't know if it's like this in Smash Ultimate, but like in Brawl, if you time your jump right, you can get the up B to come out pretty good without getting this hanging thing where you go down a little bit and then you go back, then you go up. If you time it right, you go up with the up B immediately. But yeah, Snake's got a lot of good ways to deal damage. Got plenty of ways to KO opponents. Even his side tilt, you can use that to KO if you position it correctly. You don't stale it out, and you get him in the right spot to do so. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of characters that can KO easily, and hey, Snake's one of them. Okay, so we're getting to. I'm gonna treat Simon Belmont and Richter Belmont as their own characters because really, I haven't seen much that really distinguishes both of them. So I'm gonna put them in the same spot. So I'm gonna put Simon and Richter right in the neutral. I don't really know. I still don't know too much about how they're gonna play. I know with the whip, they're gonna be able to distance out opponents. So if you're a fan of spacing out your opponent, then Richter and Simon might be up your alley. Might be up mine too. But I just feel like their attacks might be too slow for my liking. Like say if you miss the whip and then you're left wide open, and then maybe some of their aerials or overall their movements might be a bit too bulky and stiff for my liking. So that, and hey, it's not knowing much about him, it's safe to put him in the neutral. Alright, next up is Shulk. I'm gonna put him in not likely because if he plays just like in Smash 4, then that's gonna mean hey, he's just gonna be like what I explained with Simon and Richter, and that he's gonna be real bulky. And I feel like the Monado Arts is a little too much for my liking. Like that's a lot of stuff to go on. Like I'm trying to set them in auto arts while not trying to get attacked. So I know that the fact that you can use the directional pad or use the direction of the stick to choose whatever Monado you like, but I feel like that's something that's gonna be tough for me to get used to. Then it can be pretty tough to KO with Shulk too, because you need to really land a smash attacks. And if you miss, oh boy, you're gonna get punished hard. So moving on to Sheik, I'm gonna have this is a tough one because in the early days of playing Smash 4, I did main Sheik a lot, but over time, when she got nerfed and her effectiveness at KOing just diminished, it really took that of she really just fell off the boys list and fell down to either the sidekicks or neutral. And for that reason, I think I'm gonna have Sheik as my sidekick. Just barely escaped me putting her on the neutral, but I think with what we got here with Sheik is still pretty good. Sheik is a very nimble fighter. Not many other characters can say that. You got really good spacing tools with Sheik's neutral B and the side B. More so the neutral B. You can just keep spamming that and waiting what you want to do here. Then Sheik's recovery too. The bouncing fish combined with the up B makes for some of the best combos of recovery ever. Only rivaled by like Diddy Kong and Wario. So overall, ever since Smash 4, Sheik has been one of those characters that you really can't go wrong with, other than KO ability. Okay, so next up we got Samus and Dark Samus. Same deal with the two Castlevania characters. I don't see too much difference, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the same category. I'm putting both Samus and Dark Samus in the not likely category, just because they're too light for my liking and a little too bulky. I don't see a whole lot of maybe I guess they're okay with combo, but KO potential, and that's I really don't see a whole lot of options for you to KO opponents. Maybe I can only see the back air and maybe the up smash, but just good luck if you can really guarantee or find a guarantee way where you can land KOs. I make it sound like with most of the characters you're gonna have a tough time KOing, but hey, that's how I roll. I feel like I really need to find like my best characters are the ones that are either they're my favorite character period, and or the characters that they got options that they can KO with. I'm sorry if I'm like really stuttering. I'm recording this at midnight, and I feel like this is the best time I can record because nobody's gonna come in my door and screw up my whole recording. Okay, so another pair of fighters, Echo fighters, Ryu and Ken. I remember back when Ryu got announced for Smash 4, I thought I would main him heavy, but hey, that never happened because Ryu, he's just too complex for my liking, and it pains me to do this, but I think I'm gonna put Ryu and Ken in the Shadow Realm. I know I'm gonna get a lot of fire from you Street Fighter fans if you're out there, but yeah, they're just I know that they're gonna fix misinputting the, like, say if you do the Tetsu, the spinning kick, they're gonna make it so you're not gonna get too much of that if you're trying to recover, but still I feel like there's just too much going on with Ryu and Ken for my liking. I feel like you shouldn't have to know all that just to be really good with Ryu and Ken. And I never really got really good at doing the combos with Ryu back in Smash 4. Where you do the canceling out so you can get all these rapid jabs and punches. That was not really much of my style. where I'm all in your face and pummeling you without any chance to recuperate or think. Okay, so man, we're on a roll with these Echo Fighters here. This is the third pair here. So we got Crom and Roy. Actually, this one I can really separate for once because Crom, believe it or not, he's actually a combination between Marth, Roy, and Ike. He's got Ike's up B, but he's got most of Roy's moveset, and then I would say he feels a little similar to Marth. So really, if you want a combination of most of the other Fire Emblem characters, then Crom's your man. So that being said, he's only neutral because I'm not a huge fan of playing as Fire Emblem characters, but Crom's that one guy that, hey, maybe I'll give it a try. And the same goes for Roy too. I'll put him right in the neutral there too, because I feel like Roy, he's one of the few characters that can really do some damage, and he might not connect all the time, but once he does, then he can. I've seen like I don't know if it's some sort of update that was later, but I remember the early days in playing Roy in Smash 4. I was getting all these crazy early KOs with like his side B and his forward smash. It was nuts. Okay, so moving on to Rosalina and Luma. If you told me about where I would be with Rosalina and Luma about 4 or 5 months ago, I would probably put her in the Shadow Realm, but as of recently, I've finally learned how to play Rosalina and Luma, so I'm gonna put her in the not likely, just barely missing out on the neutral, just because I still need to really grasp the whole play nature of Rosalina and Luma. The whole idea of you can have Voucher Luma, and that's a little extra range you can have for all your smash attacks and most of your attacks too. So you can extend your range with your forward tilt smash attacks and all that good stuff. My real problem with Rosalina is most of her air attacks. I mean, if you can angle it right, then you can get her forward air to work really well. But my real problem was the rest of her aerials. Okay, and her up air is pretty good too, but mainly her neutral air and to some degree her back air. Your neutral air, you really can't have your combo in the middle of using the neutral air, because if anything, then Rosalina's neutral air might be her most useless attack. And then I feel like it would have been nice to have her back air have a little bit more range. Okay, so moving on to Robin. I'm also gonna have Robin in the not likely. There's just too much going on with Robin for my liking. Like I mentioned with Ken and Ryu, but not to the extent there, because it can be pretty useful using the different levels of his neutral B, where you got the little shock thing, or you'd charge it all the way up and get this big old lightning beam. Some pretty neat stuff, but Robin's a little too tactical for my liking. Okay, so moving on to Rob. I really enjoyed playing as him in Smash 4 and even in Brawl. He's like my top 5 favorite, and I think it's safe to say it's going to be just like that in Smash Ultimate. I really like his up air. He's got a lot of tools that you can space out your opponent, and he's got some good KO options. He uses up smash if you can catch your opponent off guard, you can do that. You could try and go for his up throw, or maybe his up throw, or maybe a down throw to up air. Of course, I'm all saying this like, hey, they're not going to change Rob at all. You can still do down throw up air with them, but good chance they're going to change that up. But hey, if they keep all of his special moves, like his down B is the top, his laser beam for his neutral B, and maybe do something with his side B, because that's the one thing that I really don't. I'm not too crazy about with Rob, his side B, especially I misinput into his side B a whole lot. Like I try to do his top while I'm on the move, and then I accidentally do his side B. So yeah, not much to complain except for side B. Rob is in my eyes a solid character. Okay, so we're finally getting to an actual newcomer for once. It's Ridley, highly requested character. And where is he gonna stand? I'm gonna say he's gonna be in the not likely, because Ridley, he's a big character, and that's gonna mean he's gonna be a heavyweight, and he's gonna have a lot of attacks that have a lot of recoil, meaning that you're gonna be left wide open. That being said, I feel like I'm not gonna be. I'll play as him a couple times, but I'm not gonna be constantly playing as him in the long run, because I'm not a huge fan of characters that are too slow. I like the speed of my characters to be a bit balanced, and I feel like Ridley's just not gonna have all that. I mean, he's got some unique attacks that you don't even need to launch your opponent off the stage. I think one of his attacks, if your opponent is above 100%, you use the attack on them, and they're instantly KO'd, like a stamina. When you get their HP to 0, it's just like that. So that's a pretty interesting thing Ridley's got going on there, having an attack where you can do that. Okay, dang, this video's already going. This video's going half an hour, and I'm only halfway through this. Dang, if this video goes up to an hour, then I'm sorry. Alright, next up is the Pokemon Trainer. Oh, this is a weird one because they're all it's a 3-in-1 character, and I really don't know where I want to put all of them at. But here's what I can do. I like Charizard. He's actually my favorite out of the 3 Pokemon, so I'm gonna put him in my sidekicks. Ivysaur and Squirtle, I'm gonna put in the not likely. I'm really just rating how strong I'm gonna be as with these characters. So yeah, I'm gonna get right there, and I'll just leave him right there. So Charizard, I like how hard hitting he is and how much damage he can do with most of his attacks. He's not gonna have his rock throw that was remapped to his down B after Smash 4, but that's not too much of a loss. As long as he keeps his Flare Blitz as a side B, then I feel like that's all he really needs. I think you're not gonna miss out on too much if he doesn't have his Rock Smash or his down B. As for Squirtle and Ivysaur, they come back from Brawl. Squirtle, I always thought that he doesn't do too much. He doesn't do enough damage, and he can be really difficult to combo with because you can really directional influence your way out of most combos that you're dealt against Squirtle. And then same for Ivysaur too. I feel like most of his attacks are not the easiest to connect. And he does have a nice little tool for recovery with the tether. But then again, I'm also sleeping, man. Then again, that's just Brawl. In terms of his recovery. Then he's got some good tools for spacing. He's got his Razor Leaf for a side B, so you can distance out your opponent that way. Okay. So a surprise character that I didn't see coming at all, that got announced at the very end of the Smash It Direct 2 days ago. It's a Piranha Plant. It looks like it's going to be a really balanced character, and for that reason, I think he's going to be a part of my sidekicks. I really don't see nothing nothing sticks out in terms of something that's really going to catch my eye and like. Okay, basically where I'm getting at here is Piranha Plant's going to be one of those balanced characters where he's not going to have an attack that works too slow, nor it's going to work too fast. So I like to think of Piranha Plant as he's like Mario, but a bit bulkier. If that makes any sense? Like a somewhere in the middle between Bowser Jr. and a Mario. So that's my opinion on Piranha Plant. Moving on to Dark Pit and Pit. I'm going to put them right beside next to each other, just like with all the Echo Fighters that I've had. I'm going to have both Pit and Dark Pit neutral, because they're great if you want a space, and their side be the Electroshock and Upper Dash thing. They're really good if you don't use them at all during the whole stock, you can try and get a KO with that. But if you want to deal damage with them, sure, but it's really risky to miss too. Like if you use it and then they miss, then you left yourself wide open. His Orbitars, they're not the best reflector item. I feel like there's other characters with better reflectors, because it takes a while to pull them out and then retract them. His recovery, yeah, it can be great. You can probably recover from across the side of the stage, but it's not the most accurate thing in the world. You really gotta aim point blank, or you really gotta aim precisely on hitting your ledge and recovering. So that's one thing I really don't like. That, and it goes for Rosalina too, but a lot worse there. Okay, so Pikachu. I was never really a huge fan of Pikachu, probably because maybe because Pikachu didn't really do too much damage for my liking, and all the combos I pulled off with Pikachu, my opponent keeps breaking out of them. So I'm gonna put Pikachu in the not likely, because that I'm probably not playing as Pikachu the right way. But yeah, I think Pikachu is just gonna be another solid character that, hey, I'm not gonna be playing as a whole lot, but he's just gonna magically find himself in the top 10 of the tier list, just like in every other Smash game that he's ever been in. That's a fun fact. He's amongst the original 12 characters that have that have been in all the Smash games. Pikachu is the best overall. Okay. Now then, we go into Pichu, the ultimate character to come back, and one I'm pretty excited to come back. He's part of the big boys, baby. Pichu is ready to take names. He's ready to take the cucumber and put it down the vacuum tube in his victims. He's ready to tear ass. And I feel like Pichu is going to be one of those characters that he's going to be able to rack up a lot of damage over time. Not to himself, but I feel like to the other opponent. Like, he's one of those characters that you're not going to do combos with him, and I think you're not going to even make the other characters flinch. You're going to be able to tack on these little electric attacks, and you're going to tack on a bunch of these electric attacks against your opponent. And to your opponent, it'll feel like, hey, this guy playing as Pichu against me isn't doing a whole lot. Like, I'm not really getting knocked back from him. But then you look down at your percent and like, shoot, this. And then you look down at your percent and then, oh, wait, what? How'd he get all this percent on me? I feel like that's what Pichu is going to be like. He's just going to be one of those characters where you're not going to combo with him, but you can sneak in and slap on some percent. It's going to be pretty interesting. Like, Pichu's going to be one of the fastest characters in the game. Gonna deal a lot of damage, but you're not going to be pushing anybody around with Pichu, I don't think. He might have some stun capabilities, especially with what he's got going on with his forward tilt. And I think Pichu still hurts himself if you do his electric attack, but hey, you gotta keep the tradition, I guess. That's what he did in Melee. You gotta make him do that in Brawl too. But hey, I'm totally fine with that. And look how adorable too he is. I mean, look at him. You can't go wrong with that face. Gotta love my man Pichu. Alright, so that's enough of that. Moving on to Daisy and Peach. Another pair of fighters. They're not too distinct from one another. I think out of all the Echo Fighters, the most distinguishable out of all these is really Chrom and Roy. At least Chrom, he borrows moves from not just Roy, but some of the other characters like Ike and maybe Marth, but mostly Ike. Like he has his up B. But anyways, back to Peach and Daisy. I was never a real big main on Peach. Like I'll use her down B a lot. Really just set like a parameter around myself. Like I'll throw turnips up and I'll throw them at you sometimes. But mainly just up, just to try and give my opponent to worry about that turnip coming down. But and her recovery is pretty nice too. You can hold the jump button, have her glide, and then pair that up with the parasol. So she makes for one of the best vertical recovery characters. You know, like Wario, Diddy Kong, and Sheik. But I feel like that's just not enough for my liking. So she's gonna go into the not likely. So you're not gonna see me playing as Peach or Daisy that whole lot often for that reason. Alright, moving on to Palutena. She's going in the Shadow Realm. There's just too much. She's supposed to be a defensive character, but she's too defensive in that way. In that, her attacks aren't going to be that really effective. Like she's not going to do enough % damage, nor will she do a whole lot of KOing. Maybe with her up smash and her forward smash if you can get that to connect, but you can easily whiff with the forward smash because there's a little radius in her forward smash that you can, where it pushes it pushes your opponent's backwards or forward, and not even hit them, which is weird. And especially your auto reticle too. Like if you're not locked onto anybody, the thing doesn't fire. You can only fire if you get the auto reticle to lock on. So a lot of holes with Palutena there, and unless if I get some hands-on gameplay as Palutena when Smash Ultimate comes out, then that's where I stand on as far as Palutena. You're into the Shadow Realm. As for Pac-Man, not likely. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like myself some spamming down B, kicking the living dog towards out of it, and having it fly across the stage. That's always a lot of fun to mess around with this hydrant. And using this side B, actually using his side B, but mostly his neutral B, where you have all these different sprites that you can use. Both of them, all of them having different effects. The key having this big ol' knockback capability, and then there's that little yellow fruit. It's like a stack of cheese or something. But this yellow fruit, you use it to stun them. That's pretty interesting. You can do some stuff with that. But I feel like Pac-Man's just that below average, mediocre character that I can really do much better than Pac-Man. Anyways, going on to Ness. I'm gonna have Ness as a neutral because Ness, I think he can really he's got projectiles that you could work with. They're all player controlled, and his up B and his neutral B. And if you can get Ness to connect with attacks, you could do quite the bit of damage, more so than you think. Like his side smash does a lot of work if you really land it correctly, and if you can even get this to work, his neutral B, that can instantly KO if your opponent is unlucky enough. But his main tools are using his up B on himself, so you can get that little supernova with his PK Thunder. And then there's his unholy back air, where you pair that with his side B. You use his side B, get him trapped in the fire, and then you back throw him. That's like his bread and butter combo with Ness, but what are the chances they nerf that in Smash Ultimate? That won't be nearly as viable. So then, because of that, you might have to use it for, say, if your opponent is at a really high %, or if it's the first time you're using it in the match. Next up is Mr. Game & Watch. He's going to be in my not likely because just too many cheese holes in Game Watch's playstyle. Like, you really gotta deal with the fact that he's one of the more slower characters, toppled together with one of the lighter characters that you can easily KO. And because of the way he moves and most of his attacks, you really gotta compensate for that, and you can't. You're not gonna be doing these lightning fast combos like most of the characters that are probably gonna be top tier are gonna be able to do. So I feel like Mr. Game Watch is one of those characters that's just gonna fall behind because of speed and survivability and KOing. Alright, so next up is the Mii Fighters. I never played as the Mii Fighters that much, so I'm kind of just gonna throw all of them in the Shadow Realm, except for I'll put the Sword Fighter in the Shadow Realm. I think he was actually the worst character if they were included. As for the Gunner, yeah, I think the Gunner might be my favorite because hey, you can't go wrong with spacing out if you're me, and hey, it's a lot more better than going hand to hand, in my opinion. Or hey, if you miss, then your opponent has a open shot to punish back. Okay, so Mewtwo. He's got a Shadow Ball, which I'm a huge fan of. He's actually going to be my sidekick because I'm not a huge fan of his forward air. That range for that is a bit too short for my liking. But hey, on the plus side, it comes out on not very few frames, so you can use that to your advantage to try and sneak in a hard-hitting attack. Because if you can get it to connect with the short range, then you can use it for some good KOs. You just need to get the high enough percent for that. Moving on to Meta Knight. I'm going to have Meta Knight. I think he's one of my boys here. Believe it or not, I actually enjoyed Meta Knight much more in Smash 4 than I did in Brawl. For obvious reasons, in Brawl, he was the most broken character in the game, where they banned him in certain Brawl tournaments. But in Smash 4, he's much more balanced. He's brought back down to earth. And there's some quirks and challenges when you played him back in Smash 4. And I feel like I think they're still going to nerf Meta Knight. They're going to give him more nerfs in Smash Ultimate. But I think that's not going to stop me from trying to main Meta Knight. Because hey, Meta Knight's a pretty cool character. And especially his new shuttle loop. That can open up some neat ways to KO your opponent. Alright. So that's one boy. We're going to back it up with another boy in the Mega Man. Oh, he's just one of my favorite characters. He's got really great tools for spacing. Really goes down my alley and how I like to play. I like to keep my opponent at an arm's reach, not try and keep them. Don't let them all up in my grill. And Mega Man is just the right guy to make sure that he's got a Slash Claw for his back air. He's got his Mega Upper for his up tilt. He's got some nice and flashy ways you can KO your opponents. If you can get them to land, that is. So, overall, Mega Man's up there for one of my favorite Smash Brothers character to play as of all time. Just because of that. So we got back to boys. Oh, I probably moved a character back in, but it's okay. I'll give back to. Wait, no, I moved Daisy back. Let me put her back here. There we go. Lucina, you're in the Shadow Realm. Why? Because you might be a balanced version of Marth, but that really takes away any speciality that you might have. Then I'm not a huge fan of the really generic sword fighters. And that's what you are, Lucina. You're a generic sword fighter. Don't even have projectiles, so you have to rely on a pseudo up close in your face to get at your opponent. I mean, yeah, you got some distance with the sword, but really, you can't attack too far away with the sword. As for Marth, yeah, I'm putting him in the Shadow Realm too, because he's just like Lucina, but even with the tip, you have to use the tip, and if you don't, then you got much weaker attacks compared to Lucina. So it makes Marth feel like he's a more riskier to attack with. Like, say, if you don't get the right angle with your sword, that's not going to do a whole lot of damage. But hey, it pays off once you get the sweet spot with the sword and when you attack from the tip. Alright, so we got Mario here. He's going to be my sidekick. You can never go wrong with Mario, especially if it's in this if you're playing a Smash Brothers game that was released in this decade, hey, which means Smash 4, Smash Ultimate. He's just a really well-balanced character. He deals great damage, deals great. He has really great KO attacks. Like, all of his Smash attacks are really great, and they fit the bill well nicely. The only problem I could really say about Mario is his recovery, but I think he can really manage with his recovery. But on the other note, his recovery really gets outclassed by most of the other characters' recovery, like Rob and Fox. Or maybe not Fox, because he's got some delays in his recovery. I'll just say Rob, Villager, and Wario. Okay, so Luigi. I'll also put him in the sidekick, because it's always fun to try and get these random side Bs. Just like with Mr. Game & Watch, you can get like the 9. It'll be like the most funniest thing ever. You just get this random hard-hitting move. And that's the case with Luigi too, because I always just burst out laughing whenever I have a giant mushroom and I'm Luigi, and then I get the misfire, and I come flying in there against my friends. Maybe even just knocking them into next Tuesday, or maybe even snapping their shield in just one quick succession. Good times with Luigi. And his up B and a lot of his other attacks, you can create some fun mishap. So moving on to Lucas, I'm going to put Lucas in my neutral. Because just like with Ness, he's got his own quirks. He's got an interesting back air where you can cover some good distance with his back air. It's also weirdly enough one of the few characters where you can spike somebody with the back air. And you can use his snake to, I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can use this snake to tether recovery. It's also his grab too, which I'm not a huge fan of tether grabs, because if you miss your tether grab, you're leaving yourself wide open. A lot more so if you use a more traditional grab. So then he's got I like his up smash. If you can get that to connect, it hits hard, just like with most of the other characters that hit hard with their smash attacks, like Donkey Kong, King Dedede, Ganondorf from Bowser. So that up smash alone can rank up there with some of the hardest hitting attacks in the whole game. Alright, so Lucario. He's going to go in my not likely, because I feel like you have to have your percent high if you want to really do anything with Lucario. Because if your percent is low, then you're not going to be doing too much damage. And I feel like it's always like that for me. Like, even if most of my time will be at low percents, but when I do get to high percents as Lucario, is like I only have it for so long. Like, I don't make the most of my time when I play as him, is at high percents. So Little Mac, he's one of my boys. I love Little Mac in Smash 4. At the very beginning, I hated him because just because of the other people that played as him. He just really left a bad first impression on me. But over time, I really enjoyed playing as Little Mac. I like spamming his smash attacks and blast boxes. I like going into Giga Mac and doing pretty much just the same thing. I like using his KO punch in the air, which does absolutely nothing if you do so. Always use that thing on the ground. Really just keep Little Mac on the ground. That's the name of the game here with Little Mac. You can't do anything with him if you attack him in the air. And speaking of the air, they're actually buffing his attacks in the air, so you're able to they especially buff to his recovery, so you don't go into the helpless state if you use his side B. So you can use his side B, then jump, and then use his up B. So it's a good buff for Little Mac, and another reason to keep me playing as him. That'll be fun. Okay, so for Link, I'm actually gonna put Link as my sidekick. If it weren't for the changes that they're making for him in Smash Ultimate, I'd probably put him in the not likely, believe it or not. But he's got some interesting designs here, and he's gonna play a lot more different. Like his bomb is gonna be neat, and a lot of any of the other changes that they made to him is gonna be pretty interesting. He's gonna have nice toys to play around with. So Kirby, neat thing with Kirby is they brought back his dash attack from Melee. Actually, they dropped the one that they had from Smash 4 and Brawl, but that's gonna I'm gonna put him in neutral because Kirby was really never the character I found myself maining a whole lot. I only really mained Kirby back in the original Smash Brothers because I feel like Kirby was the most aggressive out of those 12 characters. Actually, really originally, I really never was able to play as the hidden 4 characters because I always had to unlock them. And when I start up the game, my whole save file's gone. So for that reason, Kirby was my go-to back then. But as for now, I feel like Kirby's just a little too simple for my liking. Like, he's got a really great recovery. He's got some moves that you can do some damage with, but like that main drawback, I don't think he's gonna have enough KO options for my liking. That's gonna keep him. That's gonna put him in one of the top tiers up here. Okay, so getting into finally another newcomer, I'm gonna put King K. Rool. I feel like I have to have one of my boys be a newcomer, and I think it's gonna be K. Rool. I feel like from the gameplay I've seen of K. Rool, he's got some really great options for KOing and doing damage. Two things that, as I've been saying the whole video long, things that if you got two of those things, chances are I'm probably going to be playing as you a bunch. And that's what I see in K. Rool. I like his cannon thing. I really don't I haven't read up on which is which for special moves, but the vacuum cannon is going to be nice for some mind games and really catching your opponent off guard and spacing him and spacing too. There's a little neat thing with his crown, like if you miss or if you don't retract it properly, you lose it and you can't use it again. So similar to with Diddy Kong's bananas or Mega Man's metal blades, you really got to make sure that you get it back and don't let your opponent get onto it, or just in general don't lose your crown, because if you do, you can't throw his crown again, not unless for a long time. King DDD. We go from one king to another. He's also one of my boys. Always a pleasure charging the biggest, meanest forward smashes out there and just laying it to him. Dropping about 40% on just one fully charged forward smash. And I feel like that's going to be yet another case here for me in Smash Ultimate. Then you're now able to inhale the Gordo and spit it back out. So another option, another tool there where you can deal some damage for the hammer swinging king. Or Jigglypuff. I feel like Jigglypuff is nowhere. I don't think Jigglypuff is still nowhere near where she once was back in Melee. And the way just Smash Brothers works now, I'm gonna put her middle of the road. I would love to play as even main Jigglypuff, but the reality is Jigglypuff is too light, so you'll probably find her getting KO'd at 80%. And her rest, it's not always guaranteed, because the best way to use rest is you use the rest, your opponent gets star KO'd, and that gives you plenty of time to recover from the rest. So instances where you use the rest to go flying upwards in the stage, it's not a star KO, it's just a regular KO. If, like, say, the time it takes you to get KO'd is equal to if you were to get KO'd horizontally. So that happens, and then your opponent gets a free hit when they respawn in. That alone has what's plagued Jigglypuff and her viability back in Smash 4. And looking at you can still get regularly KO'd if you fly upwards on the screen. That might be the same case here with Jigglypuff. So it's yet the third game in a row. I don't think Jigglypuff is going to be too viable. But hey, I still like having a great recovery, and you can really be up in your face with Jigglypuff and be real safe about it, because you can fly in and then fly back out, because Jigglypuff is that mobile in the air. Okay, so Isabelle, this is an interesting one. Okay, really not really, because Isabelle is pretty similar to Villager, but I think I'm gonna Isabelle middle of the road also, because Isabelle she's got this neat thing going on with her grab, where you can actually grab players that are grabbing the ledge or even in the water. So you really got some good range with your grab. But I feel like she'll play just like how Villager will play. I really don't know too much about her. I haven't seen too many gameplay, but the very little gameplay I've seen, it feels just like Villager gameplay. Inkling. Oh boy. I'm going to put not likely. Really close to doing the Shadow Realm, but okay. Trying to judge her just on the fighter alone and nothing else. But it's really interesting. You have to ink your other opponent to do any real damage. If you can get enough ink on your opponent, you can do more damage. You also have to refill your ink by doing a special button command. You have to shield and then press B. So if you're gonna main Inkling, you gotta get used to that. And they also use most of their special moves and attacks come from the games. So I think Inkling's gonna be a decent like Inkling's gonna be able to cover all ranges. So they're gonna have attacks that are gonna cover up close and then mid range like a sword fighter, and then their blaster and some of their other attacks you can cover long range. So I think you're getting the best of all worlds if you do play as Inkling. Does that mean they're gonna be my favorite? No. There's gonna be something there that's gonna be problematic for me and Inkling. I don't know. So anyways, Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh wait, no, that's not Shadow the Hedgehog. That's Incineroar. From a distance, it looked like it, and the silhouette of his eyes made me to believe that he was Shadow the Hedgehog. Anyways, Incineroar. Another newcomer. Really don't know too much about him, but he looks like he could be like a, how do I explain it? Like a Charizard or an Ike. Really just basing this off of what I see in his up B. He does the, what's it called? It's a Pokemon move. But basically he jumps up the air and then comes crawling back down. Just like Kirby and Ike's recovery. So you really gotta factor in that if you're trying to recover. And he's got some, he's more wrestling themed. Like he's got this one move where he spawns a bar out of midair, and you have your opponent bounce off it, and you can attack it. You got to do the timing just right for you able to use that. Maybe I'm thinking of a different move, but hey, that's just that. Don't really know too much about Incineroar for me to really really determine if he's going to be a character that I'm going to be not playing as at all, or just be one of my boys. So Ike, not likely. I'm not going to be playing as Ike that much. Maybe just once, but I don't think I'm going to be, like, his attacks, I don't think do enough damage for my liking. And also, they're not going to knock back that much. So Ice Climbers, I'm also there too. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like the changes that they made. Nana can't grab, and if you're grabbed, then Nana is in a helpless panic state where Nana can't move if Popo's grabbed. So hopefully all these changes will make it so there's absolutely no way where they can do any chain grabs that absolutely break the match. So hey, finally, it's been a long time coming. For 10 years, I think they finally got it right with Ice Climbers. So Greninja, nah, I'm going Shadow Realm. I can't help it. Greninja, one of the very few characters I feel like I just have way too much trouble landing attacks with Greninja. Mainly, just speaking out of his air game and his forward air, you really gotta factor in the timing on his forward air. Then I really didn't make that many great combos when I play as Greninja. I kind of just go in there and start using whatever that works best for me. Then I'm not fooling anybody when I use his neutral B. Like I could charge up a neutral B and then they'll just block it. So I really don't have a whole lot to work with when I play Greninja. Ganondorf, I'm gonna have him as my sidekick. He's just you know what? He's one of my boys because he's a hard hitter. He actually compared to what he was in Brawl, where he's just way too sluggish, like absolutely sluggish. They buffed him up in Smash 4, and I feel like they're gonna buff him up once more. He's also got some changes to his Smash attacks. He actually uses his sword, so that's gonna be interesting. So it looks like he's gonna have more range with his attacks, so that's gonna be good. He's still gonna have his Warlock Punch, so if you could snap people's shields or break them, snap, you can lay down the ultimate disrespectful land blow on him with the Warlock Punch. That's gonna be fun. And overall, he's just gonna be one of those. He's gonna be a Captain Falcon that he's not gonna be too fast for my liking, but he's just gonna be at the right pace, and that's what makes him my boy. Fox, on the other hand, he's gonna be a sidekick. I don't think he's gonna be my main. I would like to have him as my main, but on the ground he's too fast for my liking. And it's going to be tough for me to connect attacks. And maybe even KO. Okay, so Falco. Absolutely, definitely. Instant main. Just from the very beginning. He's my favorite character to play as in Melee. #1 character by far in Brawl. And he had a little hiccup here in Smash 4. Like they toned down the speed of his attacks. Which I was really disappointed by, and toppled together with the fact that Mega Man came along in Smash 4. Yeah, he slept out of my #1 fighter. But he's received some buffs in Smash Ultimate. I think he might even challenge Mega Man as my go-to guy. We just need to wait and see here. It's going to be interesting here because he's got some new attacks. He's got... What does he have? He really doesn't have any new attacks. They just look different, that's all. Like the last attack he has on his jab, he's got a different roll. I think he's also got a different spot dodge too. He doesn't dab anymore. Enough of that. Duck Hunt, you're in the Shadow Realm because I don't like the way your hitboxes work, and I also don't like how player controlled your projectiles are. If you want to get that propane tank as your neutral B to go out there, you really got to spam the B button. And as an opponent, it could be pretty obvious to say, hey, that propane tank's coming. But then again, it could be really annoying to deal with because you don't know when it's gonna bounce again and explode right on your face. But I think Duck Hunt is too complex for my liking in the Shadow Realm. I'm throwing in Dr. Mario also there too, because his recovery is too trash back in Smash 4, and he's too sluggish for my liking. You know, back in Smash 4, like he can't recover for anything. He's more back in Smash 4. He was challenging Little Mac for worst recovery in the game. Like even his down B, that can't even help him recover. He can only hover up for a little bit, but you still got to deal with the fact that how short his up B is. Like, it really goes to show you how bad Mario's recovery can be at times. So yeah, that's too much to manage for my liking. Then his attacks are a little too sluggish for my liking. Donkey Kong, I'm gonna put him at the very top here. He's one of my boys. I like his range that rivals most sword fighter characters. So you really use his forward tilts to space out your opponent. So that can cover the fact that he doesn't have any projectiles. He's got the wind up punch to put some pressure on your opponent. Say, hey, I'm winding up my fist, and you never know when I'm gonna unleash my wind up punch. And also, they buffed up his up B too, where you can knock people back with it if you can time all the hits right. So that's great. Okay, that being said, I'm moving almost at the end here. Diddy Kong. Unfortunately, I don't think Diddy Kong is going to be very viable in Smash Ultimate with all the nerf he's going to get in Smash Ultimate. He was great when he lasted back in Brawl and Smash 4, but I don't think he's going to be... Don't get me wrong, he's still going to be very nimble, but he's going to be on the same boat as Sheik, where it's going to be really difficult to KO. I don't think it'll be difficult to connect hits, but KOing, man, that's the important part. Corrin, Shadow Realm, instant Shadow Realm. Never liked Corrin as a character, and there's just I really don't like what kind of thing Corrin's got going on. I don't like the counter. I don't like the up B. I don't like how his dash attack works, and especially his side B. Just everything about Corrin annoys me. Okay, so Cloud from the Final Fantasy. You're finally getting Switch ports, so you have some reason for being on the Nintendo, for being in Smash Brothers, because you're mainly a PlayStation guy, but I think I'll have you as my sidekick. I like Cloud. He's a really easy character that almost anybody can pick up and play as. Hence why the term Pocket Cloud was a thing. So I can use his down B, get my Genkai Okoyo, and I totally butchered that, whatever I said in Japanese, but hey, this Limit Breaker where you can unleash these super powerful special moves that he's got going on. How many times have I said got going on? Man, you know that. I'm sorry if I'm getting really tired. But, okay, getting back into it. My favorite thing about Cloud is his side B. That can be fun if you can connect with it. He's got some really good spacing out tools with some of his tilts, and some of his aerials are pretty good. You can do some spacing with his down air. Like, you can use his sour spot with his down air to back opponents away from you. I don't know if that's going to be the case for Smash Ultimate, but hey, that's what I liked back in Smash 4. Captain Falcon. That's a tough one because I love me some Captain Falcon, but I think he's going to be my neutral. I wish he wasn't as fast, like I mentioned with Ganondorf. Ganondorf, I think, is the right pace for me when I want to play as a character like Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon, in my eyes, is just too fast. I have a lot of trouble connecting attacks and maybe landing KOs. That's been the theme with most of the characters in here. Either they're too difficult for me in connecting attacks or landing KOs. So Olimar, I'm gonna have him as my boy. I like any character where you can space out, or really you can keep your opponent at bay and keep your distance. That's a main in my book, and that's what Olimar's got. I mean, he won't be my #1 main because the way that he's got his Pikmin working out, you have to cycle through one of them, and it can be really difficult to KO with them and land KOs with them, but you can deal some damage if you can connect the Pikmin, which can be pretty easy. Like if you use the white Pikmin, you can attach that to your opponent, and they can do some damage. That and it flies in there really fast, so your opponent will have too much time to react to white Pikmin. Bowser Jr., you're in the Shadow Realm. I think because there's just too much going on that I really don't like. I don't like how your neutral air worked back in Smash 4. I feel like you were really difficult to KO with. Like maybe you can get some KOs with the up smash, but I feel like, and maybe your side smash if you're lucky. But other than that, I never found too many ways I can get some combos and then setting up some reliable KOs. So next up is Bowser. I like me some Bowser, especially if it's post Smash 4. If you got some grab games going, you can do the up throw into almost anything. Up tilt, neutral air. Most people like to go with the neutral air. You can go with the up air too. Up smash, you can juke them out and get them to land back on the ground and try and charge a forward smash. If your opponent expects, say, you're going to jump or do any of the moves I said previously, topple that, and you can still also break the dude's shield, then fully charge forward smash. That's always fun to do. I like doing that stuff. And that leaves us with one last character, Bayonetta. A Shadow Realm awaits. We all know why. The ladder combos, where you can insta-kill your opponent by just doing this explicit ladder combo, where really, if you figure it out, it's almost cheating. Bayonetta has been bashed by the community as being complete AIDS, and I see it also like if you're either on one side here with Bayonetta, either you think Bayonetta is the best character ever because you learned her play style, or you're like me and I still don't grasp the whole idea on how Bayonetta works, and it just comes off as I haven't mastered Bayonetta, and she really isn't very useful to me as a fighter. So yeah, can't stand the fact that I can't play as Bayonetta that well, and when I go up against the Bayonetta, I just get completely owned. Like, it's not fun dealing with the fact that they do the ladder combo, and then hey, I can't do anything about it. So besides the Pokemon trainer thing that I still got there, that's gonna be my list. If you got your own, you can put it in the description. You can send it to me on Discord. Do whatever. You can do a video response of this. I don't care. I'm kidding. No, you can go ahead and do that. You guys voice me your opinions on this game, or on all the characters you think, and I'll get back to you. I like to reply to you guys when you guys comment. So go ahead and comment. Hope you guys enjoyed the hour-long video. I didn't plan on having this video go out this long. I was hoping I can go bam, bam, bam with every single character, but I really had some stuff to say about each and every single character. So if you're listening to this in the background, hey, thanks for listening to me jumbling and stumbling through everything I've said about each and every single character in Smash Ultimate. But I wish I earlier this week, I was able to discuss more about Smash 4. Like, I was gonna stream, but then like my internet keeps acting up, so I wasn't able to stream. But I was gonna ask. I was gonna explain and go over the stuff that was in the Smash Ultimate Direct on the 1st of November. But needless to say, I think we're gonna get ourselves a great Smash Brothers game. Like, there's gonna be more content than I think we're gonna be able to know what to do with. So this Smash Brothers game, we're gonna be in it for the long haul, and it's gonna be fun. Playing this game for years, peanut layer by layer, getting through, unlocking all the characters and stages, unlocking all the spirits and all the music tracks. So there's plenty of things you can be doing in Smash Ultimate. You can be playing online. You can spectate your friends. That's the number one thing that I took away from the latest Direct, and that was my favorite thing from that. But I'm not going to be explaining too much about the Direct. This video is mainly just ranking all the characters as I see fit. Here's all my top characters. I try to balance out each character in the category. Like, I was trying to have at least 15 or so, but most of the not likelies have most of the roster. But there you go. That's my list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope to see you guys to the next video. I'm going to bed. Hope you guys too, if you're watching this around the same time. Good night. Go to bed. See ya.